Welcome to my sewing room. Today we're going to be doing the tail of Benjamin's kite. It's a very easy, beginner-friendly pattern. Here it is right here. We're going to work with some half square triangles, some 4 patches, and a center block. Now, what we're going to do first is cut just a little bit of fabric. I need some 2.5-inch strips to make the 4 patches. So let's line this up. 2.5 inches, and so we'll cut her right down through here. We'll move this out of the way. This is our background fabric. So for this block, what we're going to need are 2.5-inch strips in your background color and your color number 1. We will sew these together, pretty sides together, into a strip set. Okay, and then we will come back in and we will cut them once they're sewn together. We will come back in and we will cut these into 2.5-inch segments. So we'll end up with these nice little segments like this. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in order to do one of these blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. Our middle square is a background, and it's a 4.5-inch square. Then we're going to need 2 background fabrics that are 5-inch squares. Then we're going to need 2 more of color number 2 to create the triangles with. These are also 5-inch squares. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take them, put them right sides together, or however you want to call it, pretty sides together, because what we're going to be creating are the half square triangles. We are going to take a ruler and we're going to run a line from here to there. So get right on your corner points here. Okay. This is going to be our cut mark, so it's okay if we use a pencil or a pen. Gives a nice little line that we can follow. And we'll do it on this one also. Corner to corner. Okay, I'm going to line these up really nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on this side of the line, and then turn around and sew a 1/4 inch on this side of the line. And then we will cut down the middle, and we'll have 2 half square triangles. And then we'll do it with this one, and we'll make 2 more half square triangles. We're going to take these 4 patches and we're going to put them together, nestle them right up nice. And we'll sew them right down through there, 1/4 inch. So nice those nestle up. When you're doing your strip sets, make sure that you iron to the dark fabric, and then you'll always have a nice nestle when you're making the little checkerboard. So we'll put those together. There'll be 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our half square triangles. I'm going to stitch those up and I'll be right back. Okay, now what we have is our 5-inch squares. We sewed on either side of that. I'll be able to see it a little bit better on this side. We're going to cut these. And then I have chain pieced these ones here. So what I'm going to do first, my iron's right here. I'm going to just set the seams on these. Go to these right here. Let me get my ruler. I'm going to line it up on the corners. right on my line. And I'm going to go ahead and slice this, which gives me 2. When I open them up, I've got half square triangles. Again, when we open these up, I like to press to the dark side. Okay, right now what I'm going to do is finger press these just slightly. I don't want to move the fabric. I don't want to stretch it or pull it, but I do want to put a little bit of a crease in there. And again, to the dark side. I'll just run my finger down it. I don't want to distort the fabric. Some people like to square these up when they're in this position. I don't prefer to do that. I like to open mine up, give them a little finger press, and then iron them. Let's set those aside for a second. Look at our chain pieces here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these apart. Now, with these, the little 4 patches, we'll open them up and check and see how our seams did. They look pretty nice there. What we're going to do in the back is we're just going to tweak these and take them like this. Give it a little pull. You end up with a little tiny 4 patch right there. And when we open it up, they will all go in a little spiral for ironing. And there's one of our 4 patches. Just do a little tweak. Find your little 4 patch there. Give it a quick press. And we've got another one. Makes a cute little 4 patch in the middle. This really spreads the seams out nicely. Less bulk. We don't like bulk when we're doing quilting. One more. Hi, Hank. What you doing over there? Wondered who I'm talking to, huh? So, there's our 4 patches. We've got them right there. Now what we have to do is we have to go ahead and square these up. Let me get my square. So let's start with these ones first, and we'll just check these. We want to make sure that they're 4.5 inches. And I look good there, look good there. Pull that up there. Comes right down through. They fall right on there very nicely. Perfect. I'm going to trim just a touch off right there. We'll check this one. The point comes right through there. Looks good. if it's not quite there and you're off just a little bit, sometimes you can go back to the ironing board. Just check your iron or your ironing and make sure that you've done it well. It looks awesome. Times there could be one that's just not quite pulled out where it should be. Let's go ahead and square these up. So we have a line right here. What we're going to do is we're going to put that on the line right here. Okay. I want these to be 4.5 inches also. So there's my 4.5. There's my 4.5. And this does give us a little bit of room to trim these up because we started with a 5-inch square. So I'm 4.5 here. There's my 4.5 point there. Come across here, I've got a little showing. I got just enough up there and there. So let's trim this. Before we do that, let's make sure our line is right on there. That looks perfect. And you pick it up, and you turn it around. Because these are lighter fabrics, I'm going to move this down here. I hope you're in the frame and you can see. Now, I'm going to really line it up on the 4.5. Let's look pretty good there. My line looks pretty good there. Just wiggled a little. And we're going to trim it off. I'll finish the rest of these off camera. So as you can see, it didn't leave me with much from squaring those up. Just a little bit. Put that over there. I've got these all squared up. All of these blocks are 4.5 inches now. Let's move some of this out of the way. And come back with our design board. Okay. Again, here's our 4.5 inch center square background. Then we have to put these on here. And it might be easier to start with our half square triangles. We want them to go in there and there. And then we'll take these two and do the same thing. There. And there. Now, the corners on these 4 patches all go the same way. And I've got that one backwards. There we go. So there, we'll go over here. And then we'll take one from here. We'll put it up there. And we'll look at that one, make it the same, and bring it over here. So what we're actually looking at here is the dark color, the color number 2 is right here. It gives us a dark patch, our middle square, dark, and dark. But yet when we come this way, it's light, light, background, light, light. So to finish this block up, all we're going to do is flip these over, chain piece these down, 1/4 inch right there. Then I'll flip these back over and add the second one, and then I'll come back. I just stitched this right down here, 1/4 inch. What's nice about it is if you look at here, we're not joining up any seams. We don't have to match points or anything. There's our black so far. It looks like it's coming together. We're going to put these on and stitch these. Now, I've stitched them together right down through here. I haven't ironed anything yet. I will be ironing in just a minute here. Let's see if we can get you in the frame pretty good. What we want to look at is we're going to sew this to this one. And then we're going to sew that to that one. And we'll have a completed block. That being said, we need to look at our ironing. Okay. So let's flip it first before we do that. Let's look at this and make sure we've got it together right. Points go in the middle. All of these are lined up correctly. I don't have any in the wrong position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. And we're just going to kind of assess our block. Generally what I will do is I will go towards the middle if there's a center block. Okay? Which means if I've got a seam press this way, I want this one to press out. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of bulk right there. But it does look like that's the way it wants to go. Even this one up here, which there's going to be a little bit of bulk there. So, we're going to iron these seams in and iron these seams out. That way, when they come together, they'll nestle nicely. Okay, so we press it lightly. These are pressed in. These are pressed out. Come down a little bit more on a final one. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and stitch these 3 rows together. When I'm doing it, I generally, because we're going to have a 4 spot that comes together here, I would generally bring these over. I'll clip my little threads here so that I can line this up nicely, put them right in there nicely together. And everything will come together really nice. Let me sew that up and we'll be right back. I've stitched the whole block across there and across there. What we're going to do first, we're going to look and see if we're where we're supposed to be. It looks like it. Looks like I've got some nice points here that came together nicely. I've got a 1/4 inch on those ends there, so I shouldn't lose my points when I sew them into blocks. It's a little bumpy. So now we're going to look at the back here. What's our best plan of action with this? Should we just go in? Do the whole thing in? We do have a little bit of bulk right there and right there. Or should we open these up? If we twist them and open them up a little bit, what happens is you can find that little 4 patch again. And this one will lay down much nicer over here. Then we'll come to this one, we'll do the same thing. So when we iron this, we're going to have a little bit of bulk there, but this won't be as bulky. These will go out, that'll go up. This one will go down, this one will go up. Just tweak that a little bit. I'm going to tweak this one a little bit. Just give it a nice little twist. See that? And lay it down. Find your little 4 patch the best you can. That reduces a lot of bulk right there. You're going to get a little bit here, but not as much. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this, and I'll be back with the final block. Okay. On the back side, I touched these with the iron. Just press down. I haven't gotten the outside yet, but I did press down on those so that when I flip this over, they'll be going the right way. Just kind of fluff it a little bit, You can feel that that one's going this way, that one's going that way, this is going up, this one's going up, this one's coming in, and this one's coming down. So these are going in, and these are going out. We don't want to iron. We want to press. And pay attention to these ones right here where we've got three things coming together. Make sure I've got it going the correct way underneath. Come out and I'll press. And then I'll press over here a little bit. Press back there. And then I have my little iron because I don't have one of those clapper things, and I set that on there. So I want that point to be nice and tight. So we'll set it there too. And that'll make this nice and flat. We've got one more up here to do. Set that there. Oh, I feel a little bumpy there. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, look at that. It didn't quite go where we wanted it to. So we'll lay it back down. I'll press right here a little bit. And then I'm going to just give it a little bit there. I had to tug down it a little bit too much. And I'll feel it to see if everything feels good. It does. And there we have our final block. Look at the back. These are out. These are going in. These are going out. And these are going out. Everything's looking pretty good there. So let's move that pad out of the way. Let's take a look at this right here. Because I have to use my fingers to count, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm a little over a half there, so I'll probably have to do a little bit of trimming up. But we'll line it right up there. And she looks good. And here's our first one that we did up. So when we actually bring this together, we can do them like this. Make something very pretty. Or you can take this one. Let's get rid of that. You have this one here, and you lay this one on top of it the same way. Then we're going to take the blocks and we're going to pick the top one up and just turn it. It's probably going to be hard to see. Maybe I can zoom out a little bit. There. But what this is going to do is make a beautiful secondary pattern when I get 2 more blocks done. We're going to go this way, and then we'll take this one. Well, we'll take the next block for over here, which would be this one, and then we would turn it again this way. Okay. So I'm going to make up a couple more blocks, and we'll see what everything looks like. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, Tale of Benjamin's Kite, please give me a like and subscribe. We will be doing a lot more tutorials, and I'll have a second video on this as we put it together and do some quilting on it. Thanks and have a great day.